Tommy Fury against
Okay.
Jake Paul. Or I think you're supposed to say Jake Paul against Tommy Fury because Jake's the A side. You sent me a message the other day and you said you had a sneaky feeling that Jake might win that.
I do think he'll win that.
Yeah.
I think if it's a spar, Fury wins it easily.
Mm.
I think the pressure is what's going to be the biggest thing here. Like I completely concede Fury's a better boxer in terms of like he's done it for longer, etc. You'd expect him to beat Jake. Like I think even when we were chatting, like Tommy, when you watch him, as unimpressive as it's kind of been,
Yeah.
not that I'm some professional boxer or anything, but just from watching as a fan, he sets up his angles well. He throws feints. He does things that Jake doesn't really quite do. But I think with this fight, like he hasn't fought in that big a venue or that big a crowd as he's going to have, and that amount of eyes, because like the whole world's watching.
I was
Jake
at
Paul
Wembley
fights.
Stadium when
Yeah.
Tommy fought,
Right?
and there was probably, what's it, old 90,000? There's probably 6,000 in the seats.
Right.
Whereas Jake's fought at like, oh, where Jake's fought? He fought at big venues in America.
and
stuff,
it's the
20,000.
eyes. Like everyone's watching Jake Paul fights, whether it's I don't know. I was going to say whether it's people who support him. I don't think many people do support him, to be honest. But like people want to see him get knocked out.
People, if they support him,
Mm.
they will die for him.
Mm.
That is what they're like. And if not, they're like, they want to come for you. Like I get stick here. I'm in a unique position with this Jake Paul thing because I have boxed. A lot of people are like dinosaurs when it comes to this sort of thing, because what you actually see is when the numbers keep rolling in, you see everyone changes their stance. You look at Eddie Hearn at first, not a bit of me, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he put on KSI against
Logan
Logan Paul.
Yeah. it's
Well, the
just
good
nuts.
thing about this is, even in my opinion, when Tommy Fury beats Jake,
when.
I think so.
Do you?
Yeah.
I just haven't been that impressed. And I think the thing is as well, he's got all this weight of the Fury name. Like, I don't think John and Tyson help him at all. I think the amount of pressure he's putting on, he doesn't seem like, I don't know Tommy Fury, I'm not his mate, but like he doesn't seem like that kind of character that would embrace all that pressure. Like he seems like actually quite a quiet bloke.
So this is what I feel gives me a unique sort of perspective on this is I've boxed on a league it's a unlicensed boxing league, yeah? You have to go through like trials to get on it and shit and whatever. But the be all and end all is it isn't the same standard as the pros. It isn't the same standard as the top level amateurs. But the league has a system and you fight your way up. And I know it myself. I've had fights when I've looked brilliant. And then I've boxed someone a lot better than my last opponent and I've looked poor.
Yeah.
I've won, but I've looked poor and whatever. And does that mean I was poor? No, it means I boxed at a much higher level where I didn't have it all my own way, sort of thing. So when you look at the level Jake Paul's boxed at, the main thing I would do is I would compare opponents. So I would go, there's 2 or 3 of Tommy's opponents, not many, 2 or 3 that I would go, yeah, they beat every single one of Jake's opponents. So I've got no doubt that Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley could beat.
Anderson Silva's a good striker. That's the thing. I'm more UFC than I'm boxing. Whoops, sorry.
Silva was the one when I thought, okay, Jake Paul gets beat here.
Same. Well, it was more when I watched that. I was like,
Have you watched that whole fight?
Yeah, I have. What do you think? It's suspect.
I don't think it's suspect, but I think there's certain fights when, as a judge, right, if I'm
hold
judging a
back a bit.
boxing match, pick a winner. Try not to give it a draw. So it's like the Premier League, yeah? If they finish on the same points, they're going to go to goal difference. If they finish on the same goal difference, they're going to go for goals. And they can go all the way down to when all of a sudden the league title's decided on who got less yellow cards and stuff like that. So there's ways of doing it, yeah? So what I'm saying is, as a judge, you've got to pick a winner, yeah? But if you're going on about me as a fan, someone that just watches boxing, and then you say, oh, who's better going on that? I go, well, neither. Even fight. Neither were better. Yeah, Jake Paul won the fight. Doesn't always mean you're better. I've got decisions against people before, and I don't think I'm better than them. It just means that I've done better on the night.
That's what I think. I think Tommy is better than Jake. I just think a bit like this again. I'm a bit more UFC than I'm boxing, but like when it comes down to McGregor versus Aldo, I don't know if you remember that fight.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like Aldo, 10 years unbeaten, unreal, like ridiculous champion in UFC, and he was just in his head, just completely in his head. He won that fight before he stepped in the cage, McGregor.
Yeah,
and that's why I think Jake might get the business done. Just because I think not just Jake winding him up, I think like all the pressure John Fury puts on, and Tyson Fury puts on, be like, he's not allowed to have my name and all that. I don't think that helps in the slightest because he's not that kind of guy.
Yeah, I look at it like this. You used the Aldo comparison. The way I view that is, I completely get where you're coming from. If I had to take my guess, and what do I know, but on assumption, I doubt Aldo is surrounded by the sort of characters that might prepare him for a bit of mental and verbal warfare.
True.
Tommy is. Tommy's been on fucking reality TV. Got to have a thick skin is the point I'm trying to make to go on these reality shows
you are
and things
exposed
like
to a lot
that.
of eyes and that
Then,
as well.
not only that, he's grown up with his half-brother Tyson, who sprouts all sort of stuff, has been the villain, the hero, the drug taker, the champion. He's gone through every spectrum and range of emotions. I look at, you learn off your siblings, don't you? You really do. Like, I'm the youngest of 5. I look at, like, most of the mistakes that they made, I didn't make because I've learned off them, sort of thing. So I just think Tommy is a little bit more equipped than we give him credit for. Let's not beat around the bush. Jake has that one-upmanship on him when it comes to selling the fight. Oh, yeah,
in terms of selling the fight, Jake's a good marketer, isn't he? He's good at what he does. He isn't. The amount of money he's making in that is because of how good he is at doing it. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of strings to their bow, in terms of boxing, Fury's light years clear. I do think Jake can quite clearly hit hard, though. Just in terms of, like he's bigger than Woodley, but like, I didn't see Woodley get knocked out like that in UFC. In UFC, that's with like people you'd actually consider really professional, not Jake Paul. But yeah, I don't know, like pressure of, because it's Jake Paul, the YouTuber. Like there is that. What if I lose this? Like if I lose this, it's embarrassing. Like you're representing. Fury's kind of representing boxing in a way. That's what it seems. It's almost like war on this whole YouTube boxing versus actual boxing. There, like the people he was fighting in terms of boxing level Fury, they weren't big names.
No.
There's no. I mean, one of them was Jake Paul's like sparring partner, wasn't it?
Yeah, Anthony Taylor.
Yeah. But like, I struggled with him a bit.
Yeah,
and he doesn't look. He don't look great. That's what I mean. But I suppose a bit of an awkward fight. But yeah, I'm quite excited by that fight, to be honest.